Okay, so I've had a message coming from a player, and basically what the issue they're having is that they're experiencing is that they're working really hard on their game during the week in team sessions and by themselves, away from the team and in the gym and things like that. But when it comes to match day, they start to doubt their ability. So they're performing really well in team training, but when it comes to matches, they're struggling to transfer that same performance level onto a match day. So for me, there's a number of things you can do, and they all come back to mindset. So the first thing is that it's hard to replicate real match intensity. You can have a match in training with your team, but that's never going to be as high intensity as on a real match day. So the first thing is to realize that just because you play well in training, it's a much more relaxed environment, which again comes back down to the mindset. Everyone knows your ability, you know what you're going to come up against because you know the styles of play of the players in your team, and those things are not the same on a match day. You're going to come up against unpredictable players, and it might be unpredictable conditions as well. So it's not going to be a straight move over. You're going to have to realize that there is going to have to be some adaptability there. So in terms of actionable things you can actually do to help you with this, first thing I would do is identify the areas where you're feeling nervous. So what areas specifically are you doubting your ability? Is it that when you get on the ball, you don't feel confident and you keep giving the ball away? So identify exactly what those things are, and I would give yourself, just to start with, so if you're going to try this in your next match, I would just start by identifying 3 things so that they're easy to remember. Don't overwhelm yourself by giving yourself a long list of things, like 10 things to try and remember. Just pick 3, okay, and then work on those in a match, and then the following week you could work on another 3 if you think that you're starting to improve in those areas that you worked on in the first week. Okay, so actually write these things down. Don't just think of them. Write them down so that you've got them in front of you and you can see, I've got these 3 things I need to work on this week. Okay, then single those things out. So if it is that you feel under pressure when you're on the ball and you often end up giving the ball away, and you don't do that normally in your team training sessions, then you need to replicate somehow training and being in that situation under high pressure. So the first thing I would do is note down, so you have that first heading, which is giving the ball away under pressure. Then off of that, note down a few things. So it might be that you don't know what you're going to do before you receive the ball, which is sort of adding to that pressure because you're worrying when you get the ball, what am I going to do with it next? It might be that maybe your passing ability or your first touch just isn't good enough. So single out the breakdowns of that first point. What is it that you're not confident at, that you're not good at, that you need to work on? Okay, then what I want you to do is actually visualize a perfect performance in those situations. So again, I'm just using an example. It could be something completely different. It could be something like being in a 1v1 when you're defending, or being through on goal when there's no defenders around you and you've just got the keeper to beat. Anything you want. But actually visualize what would a perfect performance in that situation look like, and visualize it in lots of different areas of the pitch and circumstances as well. Okay, and then the next thing you want to do is try and replicate that at high intensity in a training session. So if after your team training you can grab one of your teammates and say, can you just come with me 5-10 minutes and help me with this, then do it high intensity, as close to match speed as you possibly can. Get them to put you under excessive pressure, and then keep repeating it. So do the reps, and then you'll gradually build up confidence as you start to you'll probably screw up a few times like you are in the matches, and then you'll start to realize, okay, I need to do this. And you'll work on that when you're doing it in that controlled environment, and that will just start to build up your confidence as well. And then before you know it, going into your next match, you're heading in there and you know, okay, I've worked on these things, so I don't actually have to worry about these things so much now in this match. I know that there's 3 things I need to do. If it's that you keep giving the ball away, I just need to check my shoulders before I receive the ball every time I get it. That's within my complete control. I need to make sure I keep my eye on the ball when I'm passing it to my teammate. Okay, and all adding up, stacking up these little changes will lead eventually to an improved performance. Okay, you do this session after session and week after week, but I'd say pick a maximum of 3 per week and focus on those. Okay, and make them always things that you can control. So if you're You might have, match day as well. You've got people watching potentially. You might be putting pressure on you, saying how many goals you're going to score today. And things like that are all things that are completely outside of your control. So just sort of smile and nod, but keep your mindset and focus on only putting your energy into things you can control. So if it is scoring a goal, what it is that you're going to be focusing on is making runs in behind, making runs in between defenders. All those things are completely within your control, and having a good first touch into space, things like that. If you don't do it well, you know that, okay, I need to go in training this week, I need to work on a good first touch into space, and that's going to ultimately help me with that goal. So just try and focus on 3 things I would per game, and then block out any outside voices who don't have the context of what you're trying to do, and appreciate and realize that they haven't got context either, and it's just part of the game that you're going to get people giving you comments, things like that. Try and deflect those, stay focused, and gradually build up your performances that way. So that's what I would do to try and help you transfer your high performance level in training over into your match days. For me, it's always going to come back to a mindset thing. So you're going to you identify the things you need to work on, visualize the perfect performance, and then actually practice that under pressure. And then over time, that's going to help improve you. Okay, I hope you find this helpful. If you did, please share it with a teammate or even one of your coaches as well. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.